Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the Los Angeles Venture Association Investment Capital Conference in Los Angeles 2012. Mr. David Drake is standing right with me, LDJ Capital. It's a private company, and he is a panelist and a raconteur, a moderator, you name it. Ladies and gentlemen, David Drake, it's good to have you on.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great being here, being able to talk about what we're doing with the Jobs Act and the Crowdfunding Act right now, trying to implement that with the SEC to make that a reality, specifically for OTCs, companies as well as Pink Sheet and smaller companies.
Well, you've got a president who got it through Congress. Don't ask me how he did it. A couple of our friends that we both mutually know probably stood over him and said, you know what I mean? And he signed it, and he signed it into law. And personally, I'm not so sure the SEC was happy with him, but he signed it anyway because he's still the boss. So what do you think about that? If you'd like to comment on that.
Well, look, we have been involved with the Crowdfunding Act and the Jobs Act since, early last fall. We had about 6 different speakers at conferences. We invested in a conference here called the Soho Loft. And early on, 6 of our speakers, including Vice Chairman of NASDAQ, David Weil, a good friend of mine now.
David is a very good friend.
Oh, it's a small world. Yeah. So he comes speaks at all our events. So he's running down to D.C. and, Gate Technology, Vince Millerani going down to D.C. every single week. Before we know it, we have a couple of congressmen, including Patrick McHenry from the crowdfunding bill itself, speak in New York with us for 300 people. And suddenly we're the organization that we invested in is the leaders on the Jobs Act and crowdfunding bill, and we start seeing these things passing. And I know exactly on the Sunday, March 18th, right before Reid was going to vote on it, I knew it was going to pass. So we started creating an advocacy group to work with SEC and FINRA to implement best practices. And we also created a trade association. And because these conferences are part of my businesses, I really get to know who everybody is. So I got to meet all the leading minds in North America for crowdfunding. Amazing to hear what they're doing, what they wanted to do, what their challenges are. And crowdfunding per se, excuse that, you got donations and you have equity. Equity is not legal today. Even though Obama signed it on April 5th as a law, SEC is in the commenting period right now, and they're going to come up with a proposal. So equity in crowdfunding is not legal today, and that's very important people remember that. What is legal today is you can donate money for a charity, you can give money for a reward, you get a gift. Okay, here's I got a green shirt I want to make, and you know what? Give me $15 when it's finished, I'll send it to you. That's a reward. And the third one in crowdfunding is microfinance. You're getting a loan, a microcap loan, or a small.
You get a little movie.
Yes.
So what's your background?
Well, we started working out with funds and family offices in Europe and the Middle East. So I was going back there 2-3 months a year for the last 5 years. And I was investing in the conferences because I wanted to bring my LPs and my funds, institutional clients to the events. You know what? They want the events very exclusive to them. We were covering the private company marketplace, which is pretty broad. Crowdfunding was part of it. And, it's an election year. The Republicans and the Democrats were lobbying, pushing this forward, and suddenly I realized that, I'm in the middle of it. I'm part of making history. We changed the 1933 Act, 34 Act by allowing, Reg D changes, as well as Reg A, as well as the crowdfunding bill and the non-solicitation ban. So I just fell into this, and I'm loving it, being able to teach people.
Here's my question, because you're speaking my language, How do you make money in crowdfunding? You. Not the companies who are going to come and raise money, but as an expert in crowdfunding, how does an expert make money in crowdfunding?
We don't have a crowdfunding platform. So what I've been doing is I've been observing everybody else all over the world. For instance, we're going to go with the Commerce Department to Europe, and I get to speak as an expert on this topic. But you got a good question there. How do you make money? It depends on who you are. We're talking about public companies, how they can use crowdfunding to their advantage without equity today, right now. This is where the future is, and nobody's really seen that yet. You take your R&D development projects And you also build new distribution channels through crowdfunding, because what you're doing with crowdfunding is, and you're really going to the consumer and you're saying, I don't have this yet. Do you like it in red, green, blue, black, or this color or this layout? And let the consumer prepay for the product that you don't even have yet. It's like a commercial, but it's an infomercial, but you don't have the product, you don't have the production cost or airtime. You just type it up online and say, you know what? We want to do this, but we're not sure. And then let the consumer tell you what you should invest in.
So, what you're saying is that here he is going red, green, blue, or black, orders it ahead of time, and the investor or the person who's putting money into it as a donator, so to speak,
right,
isn't getting anything more than an early order in based on a color, and the company that is taking the money is not giving up any equity.
It's brilliant.
It is brilliant.
It's brilliant. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do this? You know, the crowdfunding for equity you hear about today, great. You get part of the upside. But forget that. Today it's legal to pre-sell your product. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? OTC, Pink Sheets, all of you companies should be calling us and telling us, how do we do this? How do we get money and self-finance ourselves and have our followers and consumers tell us what they want? Guess what you do then? You go to the wholesalers, and you go to Walmart or whoever you're dealing with, and you say, you know what? We already got 10,000 people pick pink. I think we're going to make pink the color you should be selling because we have a following.
So what you're saying is that crowdfunding is actually a form, and a very high form, of market research.
Correct. You're doing the market research and you're circumventing the whole supply chain. Just brilliant. You could actually take 53 different products that you thought about and let the crowd decide, or your existing followers and your existing loyal customers, what they want. Don't second guess. Don't take that risk. Forget the inventory risk.
Don't make a bad product if you can make a good one with what they want.
With their blessing. And you finance yourself right before it.
So, the most important question of the day is, what is your website? Inquiring minds want to know.
The website to reach us for educational purposes and learn about what crowdfunding can do for your private company or public company for supply chains and inventory is called thesoholoft.com. So, you know, we can talk to you about what is possible. We can potentially come to your region in the future. We're aiming to do a couple hundred of these events within the next couple of years all over North America and the world. So it's thesoholoft.com. Don't forget THE, The Soho Loft.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Drake, LDJ Capital, a private company and a major panelist at this conference. You know this is the kind of conference that everybody's going to want to sit in on what he has to say. We're at the Los Angeles Venture Association Investment Capital Conference in Los Angeles 2012. What a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure's mine,
Good
indeed.
to see you.
Thank you.